There comes a moment in every person's journey when effort runs dry, when you have done all you know to do, worked, struggled, planned, and yet the doors remain closed. In that silent pause between striving and surrender lies a sacred key, faith. Faith is the invisible hand that moves visible mountains. It is the golden thread that weaves miracles into the fabric of ordinary life. You cannot see it, yet it directs everything you do see. When faith enters, limitation leaves. When faith speaks, money listens. You see, most people believe that money comes only by hard effort, long hours, and relentless struggle. But look closer. How many toil endlessly and still live in lack? And how many seem to attract abundance effortlessly, guided by an unseen rhythm? The difference is not in the labor of their hands, but in the posture of their spirit. Faith works where effort fails. Effort operates by sight. Faith operates by vision. Effort says, I will make it happen. Faith says, it is already done. Effort tries to push the door open with force. Faith simply knocks, and the door swings wide. Because faith is the master key that fits every lock. Money is not a cold object. It is a living energy. It flows toward belief, confidence, and calm expectation. It flees from fear, tension, and doubt. You cannot chase money with anxiety and expect it to stay. But when faith fills your heart, money recognizes its source and comes home. Faith opens money doors that human hands cannot touch. It calls forth the opportunity you didn't apply for, the idea that transforms your life, the connection that changes everything. Faith goes ahead of you into the future and arranges divine appointments that no amount of planning could create. When you believe that divine supply is infinite, lack loses its hold on you. You stop begging life for crumbs because you realize you are heir to a limitless kingdom. You stop asking, how will it happen? And start declaring it is already happening. The unseen responds to conviction. Let me tell you something powerful. The universe is listening, not to your effort, but to your energy. You may shout your goals into the wind, but if your spirit whispers fear, the wind carries fear. Yet if your heart beats with faith, every breeze brings opportunity. When you stand firm in faith, you do not chase money, you attract it. Faith is calm, certain, and magnetic. It knows that everything good is already assigned to you and will find you in perfect timing. Effort says, I must find a way. Faith says, the way is already prepared. Effort struggles to control the outcome. Faith releases it to divine intelligence. When you stop fighting the current, the river carries you faster than your swimming ever could. There is a moment when you must lay down the burden of trying, not in defeat, but in trust. You surrender the fight and enter the flow. That's when the miracle happens. Suddenly, the phone rings, the idea lands, the payment clears, the opportunity appears, and you realize no human hand arranged this. It was faith. Faith is the language of the divine economy. It speaks in vibration, not logic. It whispers, you are already supplied. And as you believe, so it becomes. Let your faith replace your fear of lack. Fear is simply misplaced faith, belief in the wrong outcome. Fear says there's not enough. Faith declares there's more than enough. And as you align with that truth, money begins to flow from sources you never imagined. When your imagination joins hands with faith, creation begins. See yourself prosperous, free, and provided for. Hold that vision with unwavering belief. The picture you paint in your mind becomes the door your faith opens. The unseen responds to the seen within you. Speak abundance daily. Your words are not empty. They are seeds. Each time you say, I am divinely supplied, the universe nods and begins rearranging circumstances to match your declaration. Speak faith until it feels like fact, because faith turns words into worlds. And above all, live in gratitude. Gratitude is faith's silent partner. When you give thanks before the manifestation appears, you affirm that it already exists. Gratitude magnetizes wealth, accelerates manifestation, and keeps your vibration aligned with abundance. Faith does not beg, it commands. Faith does not fear, it knows. Faith does not struggle, it rests in certainty. That is why faith opens money doors that effort cannot. So today, release the tension of striving. Release the worry, the doubt, the self-imposed deadlines. Stand in quiet confidence and say, "Divine supply is mine now. Every door that belongs to me opens easily. I do not chase, I attract. My faith is the magnet that draws prosperity to me effortlessly." Then watch the world respond. Watch the impossible unfold. Watch the doors you once knocked on open wide with grace, because you have discovered the greatest truth of all: faith opens money doors that effort cannot. Effort alone is a noble attempt to move the visible world with visible strength, but it is a limited tool in an unlimited universe. It relies on logic, time, and muscle, yet these things can only take you so far. There comes a point where striving meets resistance, where pushing harder no longer brings results, and where no amount of planning can open the closed door. This is the boundary of effort, and beyond it begins the realm of faith. Effort is the hand that builds. Faith is the power that breathes life into what is built. Effort moves the material. Faith commands the spiritual, and the spiritual governs all material things. When people believe that success and wealth come only through relentless toil, they chain themselves to struggle. They move in circles, believing that exhaustion equals progress. But the universe does not reward strain, it rewards alignment. Faith lifts effort beyond the human level and infuses it with divine intelligence. Without faith, you are rowing upstream against the current of life. But with faith, the current carries you effortlessly toward your destination. Faith is not the absence of action, it is the elevation of action. It transforms your work from forced labor into inspired creation. Effort without faith is like a machine without power. It may move for a while, but it soon runs dry. Faith is the unseen fuel that makes every action effective. You can work endlessly and still struggle if fear governs your energy. But when faith enters, the same effort produces multiplied results. The difference is the vibration behind it. The person who works with faith moves in quiet confidence. They know that the divine law of cause and effect supports them, that every seed they plant must yield a harvest in perfect timing. They do not panic when results delay, for faith assures them that delay is not denial, but divine coordination. Effort alone is driven by sight. It believes only what it can measure, count, or control. Faith, however, is driven by vision. It sees the unseen, trusts the invisible, and acts as though the promise is already fulfilled. Where effort says, "I will believe it when I see it," faith declares, "I will see it because I believe it." That is the great reversal of divine law. The universe does not respond to struggle, it responds to certainty. The moment you stop forcing and start trusting, everything begins to flow toward you. Doors open not by human pressure, but by spiritual permission. There is a rhythm to life, and faith moves in harmony with it. Effort often fights against this rhythm, trying to make things happen before their season, pushing through resistance, and ignoring the inner voice that whispers, "Rest." But faith listens. It knows that divine timing cannot be rushed or delayed. It waits in stillness until the perfect moment, then acts with inspired precision. What takes years of struggle in the realm of effort can unfold in moments through faith. The invisible knows shortcuts that logic can never find. The human mind believes it must earn everything, that only through sweat and strain can success come. But faith knows that life was never meant to be a battlefield of effort. It was designed as a dance between doing and allowing, between intention and trust. Faith does not make you passive, it makes your actions purposeful. You move only when guided, you speak only when inspired, and because your actions arise from divine impulse, they carry power far beyond human capacity. One step in faith can accomplish what 1,000 steps in fear could not. When faith enters your effort, the atmosphere around you changes. You no longer chase opportunities, they begin to appear. You no longer force connections, they are drawn to you. You no longer struggle to make money, it begins to flow toward your conviction. Effort may dig the well, but faith draws the water. Without faith, work becomes dry and lifeless. With faith, it becomes creative and abundant. Every artist, every builder, every dreamer who has changed the world has known this secret. Effort gives form, but faith gives power. Faith is the intelligence that guides your effort in the right direction. You may work day and night, but if you are rowing the wrong way, you only move farther from your purpose. Faith whispers the guidance that intellect misses. It nudges you toward divine alignment, where even small actions yield great results. Faith removes the burden of how and replaces it with the assurance of when. You no longer question whether things will work out. You know they already are. You continue your effort, but now it is effortless. Many people exhaust themselves trying to force open the wrong doors. They labor under the illusion that success is purely mechanical, that if they just work hard enough, they will make it. But faith teaches you that not every closed door is meant to open. Some are sealed by divine protection. Faith saves you from wasted motion by revealing the right path. It turns your work into wisdom. When you operate from faith, you stop trying to control outcomes and start allowing miracles to happen through you. Faith makes effort joyful. It transforms the daily grind into divine play. You are no longer striving to make life work. You are cooperating with the creative flow of the universe. Each task, no matter how small, becomes sacred when done in faith. You begin to understand that you are not alone in your effort. The infinite is working with you, through you, and for you. The hand of faith guides your labor, multiplies your results, and protects your progress. So when effort reaches its end, faith begins its masterpiece. It takes what you have done and breathes divine order into it. It gathers the fragments of your striving and turns them into a perfect whole. It arranges the unseen details, synchronizes the right people, and opens doors that your effort could never touch. You realize that it was never your struggle that made things happen. It was your belief. Effort may plant the seed, but only faith can make it grow. The law of faith transcends the law of effort because it operates from the source, not the surface. It does not wrestle with matter, it commands spirit. And since spirit governs matter, faith holds the higher power. To work with faith is to work with the creative intelligence of the universe itself. You are no longer a laborer in the field of chance. You are a creator in the field of certainty. When faith infuses your effort, success becomes not a possibility, but an inevitability. In the end, effort without faith exhausts, but effort with faith expands. Effort without faith is struggle. Effort with faith is flow. The one who depends on effort alone may climb mountains, but the one who walks by faith will see mountains move. The universe bends to belief, not strain. That is why faith opens doors effort cannot, because faith works through the unseen laws that govern all visible results. Once you understand this, your effort becomes lighter, your steps become guided, and your success becomes natural. You stop pushing against life and start moving with it. That is the sacred partnership between faith and effort. The moment they unite, the impossible becomes easy, and the closed door opens wide before you. Money is not just paper, not just metal, not merely numbers in a digital account. It is energy, living and breathing through the vibration of consciousness. It is a mirror that reflects your inner belief system about abundance, worth, and divine supply. To the one ruled by fear, money seems scarce and distant. To the one rooted in faith, money flows as freely as the wind. You cannot see the force that makes the wind blow, yet you feel its touch. Likewise, you cannot always see the mechanism through which money will come, but faith allows you to feel its certainty. Faith transforms money from a problem into a partner, from a struggle into a stream. Money responds not to anxiety or desperation, but to calm conviction. It is drawn to belief and repelled by fear. Every thought you hold, every emotion you feel, and every word you speak sends out a frequency. The universe responds by matching that vibration with form and substance. When your heart beats with faith, that vibration says, I am abundant, I am provided for, I live in overflow. And money rushes toward that energy like metal to a magnet. When your heart beats with fear, it says, I never have enough, I might lose what I have. And money follows that command by slipping away. You cannot serve two masters, faith and fear. One must rule, and whichever one rules will shape your financial life. Faith sees money as divine energy, infinite and flowing through countless channels. Fear sees money as limited, controlled by economy, luck, or circumstance. Faith knows there is always more. Fear believes the supply will run out. Yet the truth remains unchanged. Divine supply is inexhaustible. It is not created by your job or destroyed by a recession. It flows through people, opportunities, and ideas, but its source is eternal. Faith opens your awareness to that source. It lifts your eyes from the visible to the invisible, from the paycheck to the provider. When you understand this, money loses its power to intimidate you. You stop chasing it and begin attracting it. You stop worrying and begin allowing. You realize that money is not the source of security. Faith is. The one who trusts in money will always fear its loss, but the one who trusts in divine supply will never lack. Faith builds a foundation that cannot be shaken by economic change or human opinion. The person of faith knows that money is an obedient servant. It follows direction. It listens to command. It takes the shape of your consciousness. If you constantly affirm lack, money will confirm it. If you affirm abundance, money will multiply. Money has no will of its own. It simply mirrors the energy of its master. That is why faith must rule your inner world before money can rule your outer one. You are not trying to attract money. You are aligning with abundance. You are tuning your inner frequency to match the divine law of prosperity. Faith sees money as an expression of service, a tool of creation. The more faith you have, the more freely you circulate money without fear. You give joyfully, knowing it returns multiplied. You spend with peace, knowing every outflow opens space for greater inflow. Faith understands the law of circulation. What you give in love returns in abundance. The fearful person hoards, believing they must protect their little pile. But faith gives freely, knowing that divine supply replenishes endlessly. The river that flows never runs dry. The pool that hoards stagnates. Faith transforms how you speak about money. Words of lack create lack. Words of abundance create flow. When you say, money comes to me easily and constantly, you are issuing a command to the universe. When you say, I can't afford this, you are closing the gate to supply. Faith speaks prosperity even when the evidence says otherwise, because faith knows that words precede manifestation. The invisible becomes visible through the spoken word. When you speak with conviction, you summon unseen energy into tangible form. Faith also changes how you act toward money. You no longer treat it with fear, guilt, or hesitation. You handle it with reverence, knowing it carries divine purpose. You bless every dollar that passes through your hands. You give thanks for every coin, every opportunity, every channel of income, no matter how small, because gratitude multiplies it. You stop comparing yourself to others or measuring your worth by possessions. Faith teaches you that true wealth is not the size of your bank account. It is the state of your consciousness. The rich person who fears lack is poor. The humble soul who walks in faith is rich beyond measure. Faith opens creative channels for money to flow. It brings inspired ideas, divine contacts, and miraculous timing. You begin to receive guidance from within, intuitions that lead to opportunity, words that attract favor, steps that lead to prosperity. These are not coincidences. They are the natural effects of faith aligning you with divine order. The more you trust this inner direction, the more effortlessly money comes. You realize that your supply is never from someone, it is always through someone. The person, job, or business is just the channel. The real source is infinite and cannot fail. Many people labor endlessly trying to make money through effort alone, believing that struggle is the price of success. Yet the one who works with faith multiplies results with ease. Faith removes resistance. It opens the mind to inspiration and synchronizes you with perfect timing. You no longer run after opportunities. Opportunities find you. You no longer chase money. Money seeks your vibration. When faith rules your consciousness, the law of attraction is not a theory. It is your reality. Faith also purifies desire. It takes greed and transforms it into purpose. When your desire for wealth is aligned with service, generosity, and divine will, your prosperity becomes unstoppable. Money gained through fear or manipulation always slips away, but money born of faith grows and blesses all it touches. Faith keeps your heart pure, your motives clear, and your wealth sacred. It reminds you that abundance is not only for accumulation, but for contribution. The more you give, the more you receive, for giving and receiving are one motion in the dance of faith. Faith teaches that money is not something you earn. It is something you allow. The more you believe in divine abundance, the easier it is to receive. You no longer block the flow with worry, guilt, or unworthiness. You simply open your hands and declare, I am ready to receive all that belongs to me by divine right. And as you believe it, so it becomes. Faith is the invisible gold that creates visible wealth. It is the energy that moves through every dollar, every transaction, every opportunity. Without it, effort becomes exhaustion and money becomes fear. With it, effort becomes joy and money becomes freedom. Faith reminds you that you are not at the mercy of economy or chance. You are the child of infinite supply. When this truth becomes the foundation of your consciousness, the doors of prosperity swing wide. Money begins to serve you with ease, for it recognizes its master, the one who lives by faith, not by sight. The law of expectancy is one of the most powerful spiritual forces in existence. It shapes your reality long before your effort touches it. Whatever you truly expect, you attract. Expectancy is faith in motion. It is belief turned into vibration, and vibration turned into manifestation. Life does not respond to what you wish for. It responds to what you expect with certainty. Every person is constantly broadcasting their inner expectations to the universe, and the universe unfailingly returns them in kind. If you expect lack, lack appears. If you expect prosperity, prosperity flows. Expectancy is the invisible architect of destiny. Faith and expectancy walk hand in hand. Faith says, I know it is coming. And expectancy prepares the way. It sets the table for the feast before the food has arrived. When you live in expectancy, you move with assurance. You no longer beg or doubt. You act as though the blessing is already yours. Your words, your thoughts, your attitude all begin to mirror the outcome you believe in. You stop questioning when or how, because expectancy knows timing is divine. It does not rush, it receives. It does not fear, it anticipates with joy. Most people, however, live in negative expectancy without realizing it. They expect bills to arrive, problems to appear, doors to close, opportunities to fail. And life, ever obedient, fulfills their prophecy. You can hear it in their speech. Nothing ever works out for me. Money always slips away. I can't catch a break. These are not just words, they are decrees. They summon lack, confirm struggle, and perpetuate limitation. Expectancy works both ways. It is not selective. The universe simply echoes the vibration you send. Faith-filled expectancy, however, transforms everything. When you expect good, good rushes toward you. When you wake each morning and declare, today, something wonderful will happen to me, you ignite a spiritual law. Doors that were once closed begin to open. Opportunities appear out of nowhere, and people who can bless your journey cross your path. Expectancy is not wishful thinking. It is conscious creation. It is the inner decision to align your energy with divine order and to stand in gratitude before the manifestation appears. Expectation is a form of prayer without words. It is silent but powerful, a vibration that announces your faith to the universe. When you expect abundance, you are saying, "I trust the source of my supply. I know I am provided for." This confidence radiates outward and reorganizes your circumstances accordingly. You find yourself at the right place at the right time, meeting the right person, hearing the right idea. None of this happens by chance. Expectancy is the magnetic force drawing it all together. Faith opens the door, but expectancy invites the blessing to step through. Without expectancy, even faith remains incomplete, for you cannot receive what you do not prepare for. The farmer who plants a seed expects a harvest. He does not stand over the soil in fear or doubt. He knows that nature will fulfill its promise in due time. Likewise, when you plant thoughts of prosperity, health, and success, you must expect them to bloom. To expect nothing is to uproot your own seeds before they can grow. Expectancy waters your faith with patience and joy. There is a profound difference between hoping and expecting. Hope is gentle, it wishes, it waits, but it often wavers. Expectancy, on the other hand, is firm and unyielding. It knows, it speaks as though the result is already here. When you expect something in faith, your entire being vibrates with certainty. The body relaxes, the mind quiets, and the heart rejoices as if the manifestation were already visible. This calm assurance creates a clear channel for divine supply to flow through. Faith-filled expectancy does not beg or bargain, it assumes. It assumes success, assumes abundance, assumes divine timing. It says, "Because I am one with infinite supply, all that I need and desire is already provided." It walks in gratitude long before seeing results. Gratitude is expectancy fulfilled. When you give thanks before the blessing appears, you proclaim that it already exists in the invisible. The universe responds by making it visible. The power of expectancy also governs how you receive money. Many people work hard but subconsciously expect lack. They expect their paycheck to vanish, their business to struggle, or their clients to disappear. And because expectancy is law, those fears come to pass. But the one who works with faith expects prosperity with every effort. They bless their work and expect it to multiply. They expect opportunities to arise and money to flow easily. They expect to succeed because they are aligned with divine abundance, and the universe cannot deny that vibration. When faith and expectancy unite, miracles unfold. Expectancy directs your focus. You begin to look for signs of your blessing, and because attention magnifies energy, those signs multiply. You start seeing confirmations everywhere, a sudden idea, an unexpected gift, a message at the perfect moment. Each one strengthens your faith, and as faith strengthens, expectancy grows even more powerful. The cycle continues until manifestation becomes inevitable. Expectancy is not arrogance, it is divine confidence. It is knowing that you and the universe are not separate, that what you ask for is not being withheld but is already in motion. You are not waiting for your blessing is waiting for you to align. The moment you align through faith-filled expectation, the unseen begins to take shape in the seen. To live in expectancy is to live in constant readiness. You are open, alert, receptive. You no longer block the flow of good with worry or disbelief. You are no longer surprised by miracles. You are prepared for them. You know they are natural, not extraordinary. You live in quiet excitement, certain that divine supply is always on time. You walk as if guided because you are. You speak as if blessed because you are. You expect increase, and so increase comes. The greatest secret of prosperity is this: life always meets you at your level of expectancy. Expect little, and you receive little. Expect much, and the doors of abundance open wide. Expect miracles, and miracles appear. Faith gives you the courage to believe in the unseen. Expectancy gives you the power to receive it. Together they form the law of manifestation, the eternal truth that whatever you believe in with conviction and expect with joy must appear in your world. So let your faith set the vision, and let your expectancy prepare the way. Expect good news, expect divine timing, expect financial increase, expect new opportunities, expect overflowing joy. Live in that vibration daily. Do not wait for proof, be the proof. The universe is listening to your expectation and arranging everything to match it. Walk in faith, live in expectancy, and watch how life begins to exceed your greatest dreams. For the law is unfailing. ***, what you expect in faith, you will receive in full. ***, the law of gratitude is one of the most magnetic forces in the universe, a golden key that unlocks the flow of blessings and multiplies everything good in your life. Gratitude is not merely a polite gesture or a momentary feeling. It is a spiritual vibration, a divine frequency that aligns you with the abundance of the universe. When you live in gratitude, you are saying to the universe, I am aware of my blessings and I am ready for more. It is through this awareness that the invisible becomes visible and the unseen becomes manifest. Gratitude transforms your entire state of being. It shifts your focus from lack to abundance, from what is missing to what is present. Many people spend their lives noticing what they don't have, and by doing so, they perpetuate lack. The law of gratitude teaches that whatever you focus on expands. If you constantly complain or dwell on what is wrong, you are unknowingly inviting more of it into your experience. But when you give thanks for every good thing, no matter how small, you are opening the door to greater blessings. Gratitude is like sunlight. It nourishes whatever it touches. True gratitude is not dependent on conditions. It does not wait for everything to be perfect before expressing thanks. Gratitude begins now, right where you are, with what you already have. Even in moments of challenge, there is always something to be grateful for: the breath in your lungs, the lessons hidden in hardship, the people who bring light into your life. When you can find gratitude in adversity, you turn obstacles into stepping stones. You tell the universe that you trust its plan, and in that trust, miracles unfold. Every thought of gratitude sends out a vibration of abundance. The more you practice it, the stronger that vibration becomes. It begins to draw to you circumstances, opportunities, and people that match your energy. You become a magnet for joy, peace, and prosperity. Gratitude lifts you out of fear and scarcity, connecting you to divine flow. When you give thanks sincerely, you move from resistance to acceptance, from struggle to surrender. Life stops being something to fight against and becomes something to celebrate. Gratitude is faith in action. It is saying, I know good is here now, and I know more is on the way. When you express gratitude before your desire has appeared, you are declaring your trust in divine timing. You are affirming that the universe is always working in your favor. This form of gratitude, thankfulness for things unseen, is one of the highest expressions of faith. It turns waiting into preparation and hope into expectancy. When you are grateful in advance, you accelerate the arrival of your blessings. Many people pray for their desires but forget to give thanks once they receive them. Or worse, they continue to dwell on what they still lack. This blocks the flow of prosperity. Gratitude keeps the channel open. It multiplies what you already have. If you want more love, be thankful for the love you have. If you want more money, bless the money in your hands. If you want more opportunities, give thanks for the ones that have already come. The universe responds to appreciation with increase. It cannot help it, for gratitude is the energy of abundance itself. The simple act of saying thank you with genuine feeling changes your vibration instantly. It lifts your spirit and brings peace to your heart. You begin to notice beauty in ordinary things, the warmth of sunlight, the sound of laughter, the taste of your favorite food. Life becomes richer, fuller, more vibrant. Gratitude turns the mundane into the miraculous. When your eyes are open to blessings, you begin to realize they were always there. You just had to see them. One of the most powerful practices you can adopt is to start and end each day with gratitude. In the morning, give thanks for the new day, for the opportunities it holds, for the strength to meet them. At night, reflect on the blessings of the day, big and small, and express your appreciation. This simple ritual rewires your mind to look for the good. It dissolves worry, heals the heart, and brings a deep sense of peace. Gratitude is not just a thought, it is a way of living. Gratitude also has a direct connection with prosperity. Money, like all energy, flows where it is welcomed and appreciated. When you resent bills or complain about expenses, you are sending out a vibration of resistance. But when you bless your money, when you thank it for serving you and trust that more is coming, you invite increase. Gratitude turns every transaction into a statement of faith. I am abundant and my supply is endless. This mindset attracts more to be grateful for. Even your relationships are transformed by gratitude. When you focus on what you appreciate in others rather than their flaws, you strengthen the bond between you. People blossom under appreciation. Gratitude heals misunderstandings and softens hardened hearts. It turns criticism into compassion and resentment into peace. Every thank you is an act of love, a recognition of divine goodness expressed through another soul. There is also a secret power in silent gratitude. When you silently give thanks for someone, for a situation, or for a goal not yet seen, you are speaking directly to the universe. You are aligning your inner world with divine order. This inner thankfulness is more than words. It is a vibration of trust, love, and harmony. It calls forth invisible blessings and rearranges circumstances for your highest good. Gratitude is also the bridge between desire and manifestation. When you desire something, you send out a request. When you give thanks as if it has already arrived, you magnetize it to you. This is the essence of creative prayer, not begging, but blessing. You are not asking from a place of lack, but acknowledging from a place of abundance. The universe responds to that vibration instantly because it mirrors divine truth. When you truly understand the law of gratitude, you begin to see that every experience has value. Even the challenges carry gifts. The difficult times teach strength, faith, and wisdom. The delays build patience and trust. Gratitude allows you to see perfection even in imperfection. It says, all is well. Everything is working for my good. And because that statement aligns with universal truth, it becomes your reality. The more gratitude you express, the more aligned you become with the rhythm of abundance. Life begins to flow effortlessly. Opportunities come easily. Relationships deepen, and inner peace expands. Gratitude is the music of the soul. It harmonizes you with the universe and transforms every moment into grace. When you live in gratitude, you live in constant blessing. You stop chasing happiness and start radiating it. Let every breath be a prayer of thanks. Let every step be an act of appreciation. Remember that nothing is too small to be grateful for, and nothing too great to be received. The universe loves a grateful heart, for gratitude is the purest form of faith. It is the acknowledgement that you already have everything you need to begin, and that the rest will unfold in perfect time. Gratitude is not the result of blessings, it is the cause of them. When you live in thankfulness, you live in abundance. The power of imagination is the hidden engine behind every form of wealth, success, and transformation. It is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, the unseen idea and the manifested form. Every great invention, every masterpiece, every fortune ever created began first as a thought in the mind of someone who dared to imagine it as possible. Imagination is divine vision in motion, the language through which the universe speaks to you, guiding you toward the riches that are already waiting in your field of potential. When you learn to use your imagination with faith, you awaken a creative force that can open doors effort alone could never unlock. Imagination is not fantasy, it is spiritual vision. It allows you to see with your inner eyes what your physical eyes cannot yet behold. The world is shaped by those who use their minds not just to observe, but to create. When you imagine abundance, peace, love, or prosperity, you are sending out a vibration that calls these things into being. What you mentally picture with emotion and belief becomes magnetized. The unseen begins to organize itself around your image, drawing resources, opportunities, and people to you in perfect timing. You become the artist of your own destiny, painting with thoughts and coloring with emotion. Many people underestimate the sacred power of imagination. They use it to rehearse fear, to picture failure, to dwell on lack. Then they wonder why those things show up in their lives. The mind does not differentiate between imagination and reality. It simply brings into experience the images that are most vividly held. The universe mirrors your mental pictures. If you imagine debt, you live in debt. If you imagine freedom, doors open toward freedom. You are always imagining something. The question is, are you imagining what you want or what you fear? Imagination is faith's greatest companion. When you combine belief with clear mental imagery, you create a magnet so strong that nothing can resist its pull. The ancient mystics understood this law. What you imagine with feeling, you create with form. Feeling is the key that brings the image to life. Cold imagination, without passion or conviction, produces no power, but when you see yourself already living in the reality of your desire, when you feel the joy, gratitude, and excitement of it as if it were already here, you set creation into motion. The subconscious mind accepts the image as truth and begins to work night and day to make it manifest. Your imagination is the divine blueprint of your life. Everything you experience externally was once a thought internally. Your home, your career, your relationships, all are reflections of past imaginations. To change your outer world, you must first change the inner picture. Do not try to fix reality by effort. Instead, reshape it in your mind. See what you desire as already complete. Live in that vision until it feels more real than what your eyes see. When your inner world changes, your outer world must follow, for the unseen always precedes the seen. There is an invisible realm of ideas, a world of infinite substance, waiting to be shaped by the mold of your thought. Every time you imagine, you are pressing your mental image into this invisible substance. If your image is filled with faith, joy, and certainty, that substance responds instantly and begins forming the conditions necessary for its realization. But if your image is filled with doubt, worry, or fear, the same law works in reverse, creating obstacles and delay. You are the director of the unseen forces around you, and your imagination gives the command. Imagination opens money doors because money itself is a form of energy that responds to vision. The person who can see beyond the present limitation to the abundance already existing in spirit will attract it. You may not have the money in hand, but if you can imagine yourself prosperous, if you can see it, feel it, and live from that vision, then the way will appear. Opportunities will unfold, ideas will surface, and resources will gather around your mental picture. Money flows to those who can imagine wealth with conviction, not desperation. Effort without imagination is labor. Effort infused with imagination becomes creation. The greatest fortunes in the world were built by people who imagined something new. They dared to see what others could not. Their outer action was guided by inner vision. The power that made them successful is not reserved for the few. It is available to all who believe in their imagination. Your vision is your permission. If you can picture it, you can have it. But you must learn to dwell in that picture, not as a distant dream, but as your present truth. Speak, think, and act as though it were already yours. The world rearranges itself to match your belief. To cultivate this creative imagination, spend time each day in quiet visualization. Close your eyes and form a clear image of your desire. Feel the joy of already possessing it. Let your imagination be vivid and detailed. See colors, sounds, textures. If it is financial abundance, imagine your bank account filled, your debts cleared, your heart peaceful. If it is freedom, imagine yourself walking in it, breathing it. As you hold that image, affirm silently, This is mine now, by divine right. Feel gratitude for it as though it had already come. This practice tunes your vibration to the frequency of your desire, and soon your outer reality must align with it. Imagination also demands faith when the outer world shows no evidence of your dream. There will be moments when your circumstances contradict your vision, when nothing seems to move. These are the moments to hold your image more firmly. Refuse to be deceived by appearances. The seed does not doubt that it will bloom simply because the soil is dark. Your imagined vision is the seed of your future. Water it with faith, feed it with gratitude, and refuse to let fear uproot it. The greatest misuse of imagination is to picture what you dread. Many people mentally live in their worries. They see bills piling up, opportunities vanishing, relationships failing. Then they wonder why these very conditions manifest. Imagination used without awareness becomes a weapon turned inward. You must take control of your inner pictures. Each time a negative image arises, replace it with the picture of what you desire instead. See yourself surrounded by abundance, loved, safe, and successful. Train your mind to become a garden of beautiful thoughts, and weeds of fear will have no place to grow. Imagination is the architect of miracles. When you unite imagination with faith, gratitude, and persistence, no door remains closed. Money, success, love, and health all respond to the same creative law. What you can see inwardly, you can hold outwardly. The world does not limit you, only your imagination does. When you release the power of your inner vision, you call forth divine intelligence to arrange the right circumstances. What others call luck is simply the universe responding to a clear mental picture held in unwavering belief. So imagine boldly. Picture yourself stepping into abundance, speaking words of prosperity, living in joy and freedom. Feel it, know it, believe it. The same creative energy that shapes galaxies is working through your mind right now, ready to bring forth your vision. You are not separate from the source of creation. You are its expression. Let your imagination become the lens through which divine abundance flows. With faith in your vision, effort becomes effortless, and the impossible becomes inevitable. The art of surrender is the highest expression of faith, the moment when you release your tight grip on control and allow divine wisdom to take the lead. It is not weakness. It is the greatest strength, for it is born of trust in something infinitely wiser and more powerful than your own effort. Many people struggle because they try to force outcomes, pushing against the natural flow of life, exhausting themselves in the process. They believe success is built only by striving, planning, and doing. But there is a greater law, one that says when you surrender with faith, doors open that effort could never touch. Surrender is the invitation to the universe to work on your behalf, to orchestrate outcomes beyond your imagination. Surrender begins where anxiety ends. It is the moment you say, I have done my part, and now I release the rest. It is a sacred turning point, a quiet whisper of confidence that says, all is well, and all will unfold in perfect timing. When you truly let go, you are not giving up, you are giving over. You release your burden into the hands of divine intelligence, and in that very act, you activate unseen forces to move in your favor. Worry closes doors, surrender opens them, resistance blocks flow, faith restores it. The more you trust, the easier life becomes. Many people misunderstand surrender. They think it means apathy or inaction. But surrender is not sitting idly by. It is aligned action. It means you move when guided, but you do not struggle when things pause. It means you listen to intuition instead of panic. You wait with expectancy instead of fear, and you act with peace instead of pressure. When you surrender, you move from force to flow. You stop rowing against the current and allow the tide of divine timing to carry you to your destination with ease. There is great wisdom in knowing when to act and when to allow. You are co-creating with the universe, not controlling it. Your job is not to make everything happen. It is to align yourself with what is meant for you. When you are aligned, the right doors open effortlessly. People appear at the right moment, opportunities flow naturally, and solutions reveal themselves without strain. Surrender is the quiet confidence that the universe knows the way better than your fear does. The energy of surrender is peace. It feels like a deep exhale, a softening of the heart. You no longer need to chase what is already yours. You no longer need to prove or control. You realize that you are already connected to the source of all supply, and that everything you seek is already on its way. When you let go of how and when your blessings will arrive, you make space for them to do so. The closed hand cannot receive, only the open palm can. Surrender also transforms fear into faith. Fear says, "What if it doesn't work?" Faith says, "It already has." Fear imagines worst case scenarios. Faith imagines divine timing and perfect outcomes. When you release your fear and surrender your worries, you align your vibration with peace, and peace is the vibration of manifestation. The moment you stop resisting life, you begin attracting everything you've been trying so hard to make happen. Many times, people block their blessings by trying too hard. They push, they demand, they rush. But the universe is not moved by pressure. It is moved by faith. There is a sacred rhythm to manifestation. You plant the seed through intention, you water it with faith, and you surrender to divine timing as it grows. No farmer digs up the soil every hour to check if the seed is sprouting. They trust the unseen process. The same is true in life. Your job is to imagine, to believe, to act when inspired, and then to rest in certainty. Surrender also means trusting delays. When things do not happen according to your schedule, it is not denial, it is preparation. The universe rearranges people, places, and circumstances to deliver what you've asked for in the most harmonious way. A delay is not rejection, it is protection. When you surrender, you begin to see divine order in what once seemed like chaos. You recognize that every pause has a purpose and every detour carries direction. This is the secret of peaceful manifestation. Do your best and then rest. Let your heart be still and your mind calm. Keep gratitude alive in your thoughts. Every time you feel worry arise, replace it with the affirmation, "Everything is unfolding perfectly for me." Say it until your heart believes it. Feel the weight of struggle dissolve as you rest in faith. The more you trust, the faster the universe moves, for you have removed the friction of resistance. Surrender also creates a magnetic field around you. When you stop chasing, things begin chasing you. The energy of peace draws abundance, opportunities, and love to you effortlessly. People are drawn to your calmness, your confidence, your certainty. You no longer emit desperation. You radiate faith. And faith is irresistible to the universe, for it mirrors divine law. It is in the moment of surrender that miracles occur. When you finally release the need to control, the universe rushes in to fill the space with something far greater than you could have planned. What you once tried to earn through strain now flows freely through grace. The right call comes, the money appears, the solution arrives. Not because you forced it, but because you trusted it. Surrender turns waiting into wisdom, uncertainty into clarity, and striving into serenity. Remember, the universe is always on your side. Life is not against you. It is for you. The things you think you've lost, the plans that fell apart, the doors that closed, all were guiding you towards something better. When you surrender, you stop fighting the flow of your destiny. You begin to dance with it. You understand that every no was simply redirecting you toward your higher yes. So release the tension in your heart. Let go of the need to know every outcome. Rest in the truth that you are being guided. Trust the path even when it curves. Surrender every worry, every fear, every question. Say silently, "I let go and I trust." And then watch how quickly life responds. In surrender, you find freedom. In trust, you find strength. And in letting go, you open the very doors that effort alone could not move. The miracle happens not when you hold on, but when you release, because in that release, you align with the infinite intelligence that knows exactly how to bless you. There is a divine rhythm that governs the universe, a perfect timing that moves like an unseen current beneath every event, every opportunity, every encounter. When you learn to trust that rhythm, life stops feeling like a struggle and begins to unfold with grace. Many people exhaust themselves trying to force outcomes before their appointed time. They rush, they worry, they push, thinking that by doing more, they will gain more. But the truth is, divine timing always knows better. What is truly meant for you will arrive, not one moment too soon and not one moment too late. The key is to remain in faith during the in-between, trusting that the unseen hand of the universe is arranging everything perfectly behind the scenes. When you plant a seed, you do not stand over it demanding instant growth. You trust that the process is taking place beneath the soil, invisible but alive. The same is true of your dreams and desires. The moment you set your intention with faith, the universe begins to move. Circumstances shift, people are prepared, doors are built. But because you cannot see it yet, you are tempted to doubt. Doubt delays, faith accelerates. The person who can rest in trust while nothing seems to be happening is the one who will see miracles blossom without strain. Divine timing is not delay, it is design. Every moment of waiting is shaping you, preparing you, aligning you with the magnitude of what is to come. Sometimes your desire is ready, but you are not. There are lessons to learn, strength to build, or wisdom to gain before you can hold the blessing that belongs to you. If you receive what you are not yet ready to sustain, it can slip through your fingers. Divine timing ensures not only that you receive what you ask for, but that you are ready to receive it fully and with grace. The mind, however, loves control. It wants to know when, how, and why. It wants to plan, push, and predict. But the spirit knows that the universe operates with perfect precision. It knows that everything you desire is already on its way, guided by forces beyond comprehension. The more you try to control timing, the more resistance you create. When you release your timeline and surrender to divine order, you open the flow of energy. Things begin to fall into place naturally, effortlessly. That is the miracle of trust. It replaces force with flow. Trusting divine timing requires a deep shift in awareness. It means replacing "why isn't it here yet" with "I know it's coming." It means understanding that every delay serves a divine purpose even when you can't see it. The job that didn't come through, the opportunity that slipped away, the relationship that didn't work, none of it was random. Each was a redirection, not a rejection. Every closed door pushed you toward the right one. Every pause protected you from premature steps. When you look back on your life, you will see that what once felt like waiting was actually preparation. The universe operates like a symphony with every note perfectly timed. You may not hear the whole song yet, but you are part of its melody. The right people are being moved into place. The perfect opportunities are aligning. The situations that seemed delayed are maturing into something greater than your original vision. When you learn to relax into divine timing, you begin to feel peace instead of panic. You realize that your blessings are never lost. They are simply being arranged for the moment when you are most ready to receive them. Faith in divine timing also frees you from comparison. You stop looking at others and wondering why their success came faster. You stop measuring your journey against theirs. You understand that each person's timing is unique, orchestrated by their own divine rhythm. What is meant for you will not miss you. The universe does not forget or overlook anyone. When it is your turn, nothing can stop it. When it is not, nothing can force it. Your only task is to remain faithful, peaceful, and ready. There is great power in waiting with gratitude. When you thank the universe for blessings not yet seen, you declare your trust. You say, "I know it's on the way." Gratitude during waiting transforms restlessness into readiness. It shifts your energy from lack to abundance, from impatience to peace. You begin to attract the very thing you are waiting for, because gratitude aligns you with its vibration. The one who is thankful before the miracle arrives receives it sooner, because their heart is already open to it. Sometimes divine timing delays something because it is bringing you something better. You may be praying for a door to open, not realizing that a far greater door is being built for you just beyond sight. The universe always gives you what aligns with your highest good, even when it doesn't match your timeline. When something doesn't work out, instead of despairing, say, "Something better is coming." Those words are a bridge between disappointment and destiny. They turn waiting into faith and faith into fulfillment. Divine timing also protects you. There are moments when a desire you think you want could harm you if it arrived too soon. A business deal might collapse because the other party was not trustworthy. A relationship might end because it would have distracted you from your true calling. When these things happen, it can be painful. But with trust, you begin to see the hand of grace in the delay. You begin to realize that what left your life made space for what was truly meant for you. Trusting divine timing requires patience, but not passive patience. Peaceful patience. It is not waiting in worry, but waiting in confidence. It is saying, "I am ready, and I know the universe knows when to deliver." This attitude turns time into your ally rather than your enemy. When you walk in alignment with divine timing, you no longer chase what is yours. You attract it. You magnetize it through your calm expectation. Every manifestation has a gestation period, just as every seed has its season to bloom. You cannot rush spring, but you can prepare your garden. You can keep your soil fertile with gratitude, your mind clear with faith, and your heart open with joy. When the season arrives, the harvest will come so swiftly and abundantly that you will wonder why you ever worried. So trust the timing of your life. Everything that belongs to you is making its way toward you even now. The pieces are moving, the connections forming, the opportunities aligning. Nothing is delayed. It is all in perfect order. The universe has not forgotten you. It is preparing you. What seems like waiting is not emptiness. It is incubation. When you are aligned, the moment will arrive with effortless precision, and you will look back and say, "Now I see why it took this long. The timing was divine." Hold that truth in your heart. You are never behind, never late, never left out. Your timeline is sacred, your path is unfolding in divine rhythm, and your blessings are inevitable. All you must do is trust, release, and remain faithful. The universe always delivers, right on time. The vibration of abundance is not something you chase. It is something you tune into. Abundance is not found outside of you. It begins within. It is not a matter of possessions, but of perception. The universe operates through frequency, and you attract what matches your vibration. When your thoughts, emotions, and words align with gratitude, joy, and faith, you enter the flow of divine supply. Everything begins to expand effortlessly because you are in harmony with the truth that abundance is your natural state. You were never meant to live in lack. You were meant to live in overflow. The more you align with this vibration, the more easily prosperity finds you. Abundance is not a condition of your bank account. It is a condition of your consciousness. Two people can have the same amount of money, yet one feels rich and the other feels poor. The difference lies in vibration. When you believe that the universe is generous and that you are worthy of receiving, you send out a signal that draws wealth, opportunities, and support toward you. But when you dwell in worry or scarcity, you block that flow. The energy of lack repels abundance, while the energy of gratitude invites it. The law is simple. You receive according to the vibration you hold. The vibration of abundance is joyful, light, and expansive. It does not strain or struggle, it flows. It believes in sufficiency, not shortage. It celebrates what it already has, knowing that appreciation multiplies everything it touches. When you live in the vibration of abundance, you stop asking, "How will this happen?" and start saying, "It's already happening." You stop begging for blessings and begin embodying them. You become a magnet for prosperity because you have shifted from seeking to becoming. Every thought you think and every word you speak is an energetic command to the universe. When you say, "I never have enough," the universe echoes it back. When you say, Everything I need is flowing to me easily and freely. That too becomes your reality. The words you use about money, success, and opportunities shape your frequency. Speak abundance, and abundance will answer. Words are not mere expressions. They are vibrations in motion. Choose them with awareness and intention, and they will align your world with prosperity. Gratitude is the most direct way to raise your vibration. Each time you give thanks, you affirm your connection to infinite supply. You say, I already have, and I am open to more. The grateful person cannot live in lack, because gratitude focuses the mind on fullness. The more you notice blessings, the more blessings appear. The vibration of gratitude is magnetic. It draws good from every direction. Even when things seem scarce, give thanks for what you have, and you will witness it multiply. Gratitude is the music that summons abundance. Your emotions are the language of your vibration. Fear, doubt, and worry signal resistance. Joy, peace, and love signal alignment. You cannot attract abundance while feeling unworthy of it. You must release every belief that says you have to struggle to earn it, that you are undeserving, or that there isn't enough to go around. The universe is limitless. There is more than enough for everyone. The moment you stop competing and start trusting, you begin to receive freely. You realize that prosperity is not taken from others. It is created through alignment. Visualization is another sacred tool for tuning into the vibration of abundance. When you imagine yourself already living in the reality of your desires, feeling the joy, the security, the ease, you are aligning your energy with that state. The subconscious mind responds to feelings, not logic. It does not wait for outer evidence. It believes what you consistently imagine. So see yourself thriving, see money flowing, see opportunities unfolding. The clearer your inner picture, the stronger your vibration. Abundance also responds to generosity. When you give freely from love, not fear, you affirm that you are already abundant. Giving opens the channel through which blessings return multiplied. The law of circulation ensures that what you release with joy comes back greater. It might return as money, opportunity, friendship, or peace, but it always returns. Generosity breaks the vibration of scarcity because it proves to your subconscious that you trust the flow of life. You cannot outgive the universe. The more you pour out, the more it pours back in. The vibration of abundance is also maintained through peace of mind. Anxiety repels prosperity because it signals mistrust in divine supply. But peace, faith, and joy tell the universe, I am aligned and I know all is well. This calm trust allows blessings to flow smoothly without interference. When you are calm, you hear divine guidance clearly. You are led to the right actions at the right time. Prosperity does not come through panic. It comes through presence. When you are present, you are connected to the source of all abundance. Abundance is not something you must attract from far away. It is already within you, waiting to be expressed. Every time you think a positive thought, speak a loving word, or act with faith, you activate that inner wealth. You begin to radiate prosperity from the inside out. People sense it, opportunities respond to it, and money follows it. You do not chase success, you embody it. The vibration of abundance makes you a beacon of light in a world that often fears lack. To live in abundance, make it your daily practice to align your energy. Begin each morning with gratitude. Affirm your worthiness to receive. Imagine your life overflowing with good. Speak words of prosperity throughout the day. Give freely, love deeply, and trust completely. Every time you do, your vibration rises, and life mirrors it back in the form of blessings. Remember, you are a divine expression of infinite supply. You are not separate from the abundance of the universe. You are part of it. When you align with that truth, everything you need begins to move toward you with effortless precision. Opportunities, ideas, connections, and resources flow into your life as naturally as the tide meets the shore. You become one with the rhythm of prosperity itself. Abundance is not a distant dream. It is your birthright. You were created to live in expansion, joy, and ease. The moment you tune your heart to gratitude, your mind to faith, and your words to blessing, you step into that reality. You stop asking for abundance and start radiating it. And as you do, the universe cannot help but respond, because vibration always meets its match. You are not trying to find abundance. You are remembering that you are it. Faith is the architect of miracles, the invisible force that builds bridges over what seems impossible. It is not blind optimism or wishful thinking. It is divine knowing. Faith whispers to the heart long before evidence appears to the eyes. It tells you that the door is already open, even when your hands still feel the handle locked. Faith is not about waiting for proof. It is about standing in certainty that what you desire already exists in the unseen and is now making its way to you. When you live in faith, you no longer chase opportunities. They are drawn to you, magnetized by the power of your belief. Faith is the inner vision that sees abundance where others see lack. It looks beyond appearances and aligns with truth. When the world says there is not enough, faith replies there is infinite supply. When logic says you can't afford it, faith answers, God is my source. Faith transforms circumstances by changing consciousness. It lifts you from struggle into flow, from confusion into clarity, from scarcity into sufficiency. The moment you choose faith over fear, the atmosphere around you begins to shift. What seemed closed begins to open. What seemed delayed begins to move. The law of life responds not to effort but to belief. Effort alone can exhaust you, but faith empowers you. You can work endlessly, striving to force results through human will, but without faith, your actions lack divine momentum. Faith, however, carries a sacred power. It multiplies your actions, infuses your words with authority, and draws unseen help from every corner of the universe. Faith turns small steps into giant leaps. It opens money doors that hard labor alone cannot reach because it activates the unseen supply that effort cannot touch. Faith is the energy of certainty. It is not hoping something will happen. It is knowing it already has. When you pray with faith, you do not plead, you affirm. You do not ask, will it come? You declare, it is done. This vibration of assurance calls forth miracles. The universe recognizes the confident heart. It responds to conviction, not confusion. Faith speaks the language of the divine. It says yes to the impossible, and the impossible becomes possible. Many people try to earn abundance through fear. Fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of not being enough. But faith operates from love, not fear. It acts because it knows, not because it worries. It gives generously, trusts freely, and moves boldly, even when the outcome is unseen. Faith steps forward when logic says to wait. It plants seeds in dry ground, knowing rain will come. It believes in divine timing, understanding that delay is not denial. The person who lives by faith does not chase. They attract, because their calm certainty vibrates prosperity. Faith also dissolves resistance. When you worry about money, you tighten the flow. When you trust, you open it. Faith relaxes the spirit, allowing divine ideas to reach you. These ideas often